Hi, my name is Amber. I am here today to interview Emilie about her exhibition Otherworlding at the Queen's Museum.
This is my show, Otherworlding at the Queen's Museum. We're standing in front of my installation called White Cane Maypole Dance. And so there are 3 human-scale sculptures of my guide dog, London, standing upright on her hind legs, holding onto her dog leashes, while they are circling around a maypole, which I designed to look like my white cane. When you look at, the process always starts out as a drawing. So when you look at the drawing on the wall that is of London holding onto her dog leashes, that was sort of the beginning of figuring out what sort of positions and gestures and body movements, personalities each sculpture would have and how they interacted with each other and with the space, the whole choreography. And then the process of building the sculptures was first making a skeleton out of PVC pipes. And then shaping and carving out the body with polystyrene foam and gluing those pieces around the PVC pipes. And then after we shaped them and carved the polystyrene foam, we built up the texture and covered it with paper mache. And then the dog's faces, her eyes and her nose, her lips, and her paws too, her claws. I use epoxy putty to make the finer details.
I like how they're kind of all sort of smiling or very happy, free. The movement of how you positioned London, right? Kind of joy-free, running around.
Yeah, it's all about joy and this dance of freedom of movement, which is also what the white cane represents for me too. It's this freedom of autonomy and agency to move around, and it's often a misconception of blind people that they don't have this agency to look out for themselves. And also with a guide dog, we look at an animal and we think of them as a machine.
During your time at Cooper, what was your experience or sort of first time experience using sculpture material? Or were you kind of introduced to methods of using art materials?
Actually, I had a great 3D professor who started us off on a project that was just included 3 different materials, and the materials were paper, plaster, and polystyrene foam. And so that was my first introduction to using polystyrene foam and how easy it is to carve and to cut and shave with just a box cutter or something, It was just a very easy material to work with that didn't involve machinery. I'm more of I am more hands-on, using tools by hands or manipulating materials like clay or foam by hand. More crafty.
Yeah, there's always this kind of you can share your thoughts, there's a community. So what was your experience kind of finding people and kind of relating to them? Or you said you were a little introverted. So what was that like?
Yeah, I, gravitated towards people who were interested in sculpture and interested in materials like clay or crafts, And so, there weren't that many, there were some people who sculptors who like to work in the shop a lot, and then there were some sculptors who were more interested in using crafty materials like clay or beads or yarn. And I guess we all gravitated towards each other and also showed each other different techniques and materials, and that was a good experience to have with sharing studio spaces.
Some of my friends are talking about how a lot of people use other people's studio spaces and kind of how it kind of gets blurred. Do you find sometimes that your art is influenced by other people?
Right now my art is really influenced by my relationships with London, or my relationship to my own identity as a person, and as a disabled person. But I think as a student at Cooper, I was really influenced by what I was seeing, work by upperclassmen, and going to critiques, really influenced by what the professors were saying. And so I feel like there is a little bit of cross-pollination going on. That's good.
Going off kind of a little bit from Cooper, but sort of related to Cooper, when you're applying to colleges, did you have any idea about what kind of area of art you kind of wanted to explore?
Oh yeah, I was really interested in printmaking. Actually, I was. I went to an art magnet school for high school, and I got really involved with printmaking and bookmaking while I was there. And so I really wasn't expecting to go to Cooper and just pick up sculpture,
Was there anything that drew you to Cooper, especially?
I'm from New Orleans, from the South, and like I said, went to an art magnet high school in New Orleans, and my first day, introductions to the art school and talking about colleges, and all the professors said that all my art teachers said that the best art school in the country was Cooper Union, and that it was free tuition. And so my mom and my dad, who were not very pleased that their child wanted to be an artist, told me that the only school I could go to would be Cooper if I decided to go to art school.
Thank you today for letting me have the opportunity to speak with you and kind of explore your art in your exhibition here. I really learned a lot, and I kind of enjoy seeing things in museum and how they kind of fit in their environment. And I really enjoyed speaking about your experience at Cooper. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amber. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.